In the vast chambers of the Grand Archives on Celestia Prime, Archivist Jin's hands trembled as he traced the strange symbols on an ancient stone tablet. His three assistants huddled nearby, their breath visible in the cold air of the preservation room. "What is it?" asked Day, the youngest of the group. Jin didn't answer immediately. His eyes narrowed behind protective goggles as he carefully examined the worn-down edges of the artifact. The Council had recovered it from the ruins of Sector 7, a planetary system destroyed in what was believed to be a natural stellar event. "These markings," Jin finally said, "they match nothing in our records." Sun, the linguistics expert, leaned forward. "May I?" Jin nodded and stepped aside. Sun studied the glyphs, his expression changing from curiosity to disbelief. "This is impossible," Sun whispered. "What have you found?" asked Jin. "These symbols, they're referencing humans." The room fell silent. Humans were considered mythical by most civilized worlds, creatures of legend, not reality. "Are you certain?" Jin's voice was barely audible. Sun pointed to a sequence of symbols. "This describes bipedal beings from a water-rich planet orbiting a yellow star. This sequence here provides astronomical coordinates." He looked up, eyes wide. "It points to a system in the spiral arm, a small blue planet." Min, the senior researcher, shook her head. "That can't be right. The tablet is millions of years old, predating the Council by several millennia. Humans are just stories told to hatchlings." Jin activated the scanning equipment and began documenting every inch of the tablet. The more he translated, the more his concern grew. According to the text, humans weren't just known to the ancient precursors, they were a source of great worry. "Need to take this to the High Council," Jin decided. 3 days later, Jin stood nervously before the assembled representatives of 300 species. The Grand Chamber of the Council was built to impress, with soaring ceilings and walls that shifted colors based on the emotional tenor of discussions. Currently, they glowed a cautious yellow. Chief Counselor Q, a being of pure energy contained, within an environmental suit, addressed the gathering. "Archivist Jin has requested this emergency session based on a discovery of significant historical importance." Jin stepped forward, and projection screens activated around the chamber, displaying three-dimensional models of the tablet and its translations. "Distinguished representatives," Jin began, his voice steadier than he felt. "What you see before you is a genuine artifact from the precursor civilization. It references a species many have dismissed as legend, humans." Murmurs spread through the chamber. "More concerning," Jin continued, "the tablet provides precise coordinates for their homeworld, a planet known as Earth. It exists exactly where the tablet says it should, in an unremarkable solar system previously believed to be uninhabited by sentient life." A representative from the Haldren Federation raised a limb. "What exactly does the tablet say about these humans?" Jin touched a control panel, highlighting specific translations. The text describes humans as the sleepers and inheritors of the flame. But most troublingly, it warns that they must be watched but never awakened. The chamber erupted in discussion. Jin waited until the chief counselor restored order. "There's more," Jin said. "Our probes confirm that Earth is inhabited by bipedal mammals matching the descriptions in the tablet. They have basic technology and appear to be in the early stages of space exploration." Images of Earth appeared on the screens: cities, vehicles, satellites. "The Council has a decision to make," Jin concluded. "These tablets suggest humans were not just known to the precursors. They were feared. Yet we don't know why." After hours of heated debate, the Council agreed to send an investigation team. Jin would join them, along with senior investigator Yoon, an expert in xenoanthropology. As Jin packed his equipment for the journey, he carefully placed the tablet in a protective case. Whatever secrets humans held, whatever caused the mighty precursors to fear them, he was determined to discover the truth. The research vessel departed 3 weeks later, cloaked in technology that would hide it from Earth's primitive detection systems. As Jin watched the blue planet grow larger on the view screen, he couldn't shake the feeling that they were about to uncover something that would change the galaxy forever. Senior Investigator Yoon stood at the observation window of the cloaked ship, studying the blue planet below. Earth looked peaceful from orbit, oceans, clouds, and green land masses spinning slowly in space. Hard to believe this unremarkable world might hold the greatest mystery of the galaxy. "Initial scans complete," reported Officer June, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "Atmosphere is nitrogen-oxygen as expected. 7 billion human life forms detected." Yoon nodded. "Begin the detailed analysis. I want to know everything about their society, technology, and biology." For 2 weeks, the investigation team collected data. They tapped into Earth's information networks, analyzed their broadcasts, and even sent down small, insect-sized drones to observe humans directly. The more they learned, the more puzzled they became. "They spend most of their time fighting each other," noted Tae, reviewing footage of a news broadcast showing a border conflict. "Their nations compete for resources instead of sharing them. Yet, they also create beautiful art and music," countered Jin, who had become fascinated with human culture. "And look at their scientific progress. They've gone from basic flight to visiting their moon in less than a century." Yoon frowned as she studied a medical report. "Their biology is unusual. They heal faster than our models predict they should. Their brains are remarkably plastic, forming new neural connections at rates we've never seen in similar species." The team's biggest breakthrough came when they intercepted communications from a human research facility located in Antarctica. Humans had discovered something beneath the ice, something old. "We need a closer look," Yoon decided. "Prepare the stealth pod." Hours later, Yoon, Jin, and Tae stood invisible inside the human research facility, their advanced suits bending light around them. The humans had excavated a black object from the ice, roughly 2 meters tall, covered in familiar symbols. "Precursor, technology," whispered Jin. "How did it get here?" They watched as the human scientists carefully examined the object. One scientist, a woman with glasses and gray hair, touched a specific symbol and gasped as the object responded, projecting a holographic star map into the air. "They activated it," Tae said, his voice tight with concern. "Should we intervene?" "No," Yoon replied. "We observe only." The hologram shifted, showing images that made the aliens freeze in shock. It displayed humans fighting alongside what were clearly precursors against a dark, formless enemy. The humans in the recording wielded energy weapons far beyond current Earth technology. "This changes everything," Jin said. "Humans didn't just know the precursors, they fought with them." Back on their ship, the team sent their findings to the Galactic Council. The response was immediate. "Continue observation, but prepare for possible contact." The Council believes the ancient texts might be talking about a potential, not a current threat, Yoon explained to her team. Humans may have been engineered by the precursors, possibly as weapons against the ancient enemy. Over the next month, they studied humans more closely. They witnessed acts of incredible kindness, humans risking their lives to save strangers. They also saw terrible cruelty, wars and violence that seemed senseless. Their capacity for both compassion and violence exceeds normal evolutionary patterns, Yoon noted in her log. It's as if they were designed to be both creators and destroyers. The final piece of the puzzle came from an unlikely source. The team detected unusual energy readings from a remote mountain region. There they discovered a human meditation center where people practiced ancient techniques passed down through generations. Hidden scanners revealed something astonishing. The meditating humans were unconsciously manipulating energy fields in ways that should have been impossible for their level of technology. They have dormant abilities, Yoon realized, abilities that might emerge with the right trigger. As they prepared their final report for the Council, the ship's sensors detected multiple launches from Earth's surface. Nuclear missiles, heading for various targets around the planet. "Another war?" asked Tae. They watched in tense silence, expecting devastation. Instead, something remarkable happened. The missiles simply stopped in midair, then fell harmlessly into the oceans. Satellites caught footage of people near the impact sites. Ordinary humans with their hands raised, eyes glowing with strange light. "It's beginning," Jin whispered. "Whatever the precursors planted in them is awakening." Yoon sent an urgent message to the council. The ancient texts were not warnings about what humans are, but what they would become. And that transformation may have just begun. The Galactic Council chamber buzzed with nervous energy as representatives from across the stars gathered to hear Yoon's team report. The walls pulsed with deep purple light, reflecting the collective anxiety in the room. "Chief," Counselor Q called for order. "Senior Investigator Yoon, please share your findings about Earth." Yoon stepped forward, her usually calm face tight with concern. "Honored representatives, our investigation of humans has led us to a startling conclusion. The ancient texts were not warning us about a current threat, but about what humans might become." Holographic displays activated, showing footage of the nuclear missiles freezing in midair. "This event occurred just before our departure from Earth," Yoon explained. "Ordinary humans stopped weapons of mass destruction using only their minds. Our readings show they accessed energy patterns similar to those used by precursor technology." The chamber erupted in voices. Many spoke at once until Q raised a glowing appendage for silence. "How is this possible?" asked the representative. From the Stellar Federation, Jin stepped forward. "We believe we need to look elsewhere for answers. The tablets mention a place called Proxima 7, where the truth of the sleepers is stored." After much debate, the council approved a mission to Proxima 7, a dead world that once housed a major precursor settlement. Yoon's team, now expanded, to include Ambassador Hyun, a diplomat with experience in first contact scenarios, departed immediately. Proxima 7 orbited a dying red star. Its surface was barren, swept by radioactive dust storms that had killed all life millions of years ago. The team landed near the ruins of what appeared to be a massive temple complex. "Atmospheric suits sealed," confirmed Tae as they stepped onto the planet's surface. "We have 6 hours before radiation levels become dangerous even with protection." They moved through the ruins, Jin scanning for any signs of precursor technology. Hours passed with nothing significant found. "Wait," called Tae from a half-collapsed structure. "I'm detecting an energy signature beneath us." Under a fallen column, they discovered a small symbol etched into the stone floor, identical to one they had seen humans using in their oldest writings. "It can't be a coincidence," Jin said, carefully touching the symbol. The ground rumbled. The team stepped back as the floor slid open, revealing a staircase that descended into darkness. "Motion detected," said their security officer. "Something's still active down there." They descended cautiously. The walls were lined with the same material as the tablet from the archives, a substance that had survived millions of years without degrading. At the bottom they entered a vast chamber. As soon as they crossed the threshold, lights activated automatically, illuminating the space. In the center stood a raised platform with a simple pedestal. "Careful," warned Yoon as Jin approached it. Jin placed his hand on the pedestal. Immediately, the room transformed. Holographic projections filled the space around them, showing scenes from an ancient war. Precursors, tall ethereal beings of light, fought alongside primitive humans against shadowy creatures that seemed to consume light itself. "The dark flux," whispered Hyun. "I thought they were just legends." The images shifted, showing precursors working in laboratories with human subjects. Not harming them, but changing them. A voice filled the chamber, speaking in an ancient language that their translators struggled with. "When we fell, our last hope became the inheritors. We hid our essence within them to sleep until needed again." More images appeared. Precursors transferring energy, consciousness itself, into early humans. They didn't just ally with humans, Yoon realized, her voice filled with awe. They became them. The final sequence showed the dark flux retreating to the edges of the galaxy, wounded but not defeated. A timer appeared, counting down in precursor numerals. "It's a warning," Jin translated. The dark flux would return in approximately 20,000 years. "Which is now," said Tay quietly. Ambassador Hyun turned to the others, her face pale. "The humans aren't just some random species the precursors found useful. They're the precursors themselves, or rather, their consciousness hidden in a new form, designed to evolve specific abilities over thousands of generations." "The ancient texts weren't warning us about humans," Yoon said. "They were telling us that when humans began showing these abilities, it meant the ancient enemy was returning." As if responding to her words, the hologram displayed one final image. The same shadowy forms they had seen earlier, moving toward a spiral galaxy that looked exactly like their own. "We need to get back to the council," Jin said urgently. And then we need to talk to the humans," finished Yoon, "before it's too late." The debate in the Galactic Council lasted for 7 full days. Some representatives argued for continued observation of humans from a distance. Others insisted on immediate military intervention to contain the potential threat. A few even suggested destroying Earth entirely, a notion that was quickly dismissed as both unethical and potentially dangerous, given what they now knew about human capabilities. In the end, Admiral Minho's proposal won majority support, a carefully managed first contact with Earth's leaders. "We cannot afford to wait," Minho told the council. "The humans are awakening to their abilities and the dark flux approaches. If humans truly carry the essence of the precursors, they deserve to know their history and the coming danger." Minho selected a team of 50 specialists from various worlds, including Yoon, Jin, and Ambassador Hyun. Their ship, the Celestial Envoy, was the pride of the Council fleet, an elegant vessel designed specifically for diplomatic missions. "Remember," Minho briefed the team as they prepared to enter Earth's solar system, "our models predict significant cultural shock. Humans believe they are alone in the universe. We must proceed with extreme caution." They decided to make contact with a council of Earth's most powerful nations rather than a single government. A message was beamed to selected leaders, using Earth's own communication systems requesting a meeting. The message included basic mathematical proofs of their non-Earth origin to establish credibility. The response came faster than expected. Within hours, Earth's major powers had agreed to a meeting on neutral territory, a military base in Switzerland. The landing site was surrounded by human military vehicles and personnel. Tension filled the air as the Celestial Envoy descended through clouds and hovered above the designated area. "They're nervous," noted Hyun, watching the humans on the monitors. "But I don't see panic." Minho nodded. "Deploy the welcome pod." A smaller craft separated from the main ship and landed gently on the ground. Minho, Hyun, Yoon, and Jin emerged, wearing human-like environmental suits designed to appear less threatening. A group of humans approached, military officers and government officials from various nations. One woman stepped forward, identifying herself as Secretary General of the United Nations. "On behalf of humanity," she said, her voice steady despite the historic moment, "I welcome you to Earth." Ambassador Hyun bowed slightly. "We come in peace and friendship, representatives of the Galactic Council, an alliance of 300 sentient species." The first hours of contact were tense but productive. The humans asked practical questions about the visitors' origins and intentions. They showed surprise but not the panic or religious hysteria the aliens had predicted. "You've known about us for some time?" asked one human leader when told of their observation mission. "Yes," admitted Minho. "We needed to understand your civilization before making contact." "Understandable," the human replied. "We would have done the same." By the third day of meetings, discussions had moved to a specially constructed facility where both species could interact without environmental suits. The humans had requested and received basic information about Council technology, history, and member species. What troubled Minho wasn't their questions about technology, but how quickly they grasped complex concepts. "They've already conceptually understood principles of faster-than-light travel," he told Yoon privately. "It took the Voxidian 3 generations to develop these ideas. The humans are making connections in days." During the second week, Jin presented the findings from Proxima 7. The human representatives listened in stunned silence to the evidence that their species had been engineered by the precursors. "You're saying we're not truly human?" asked one scientist, his face pale. "You are entirely human," Jin clarified. "But your species carries something extra, dormant abilities and possibly memories implanted by the precursors before they faced extinction." "And these dark flux creatures," said a military general, "you believe they're returning? That we're meant to fight them?" Minho nodded. "The evidence suggests this, yes. The humans requested time to process this information and consult with others. When they returned the next day, something had changed. Many arrived with young people, teenagers and young adults who had recently displayed unusual abilities. These individuals, explained the Secretary General, have been demonstrating capabilities we cannot explain through conventional science. After hearing your information, we believe they may be the first to awaken, as you put it." A young woman stepped forward. Without speaking, she raised her hand toward a metal object on the table. It floated upward, then transformed into a complex shape that resembled precursor writing. "I don't know how I did that," she said quietly. "I just knew." Minho exchanged glances with his team. The awakening was happening faster than they had anticipated. "We need to prepare," he told the human leaders. "The dark flux will not remain at the galaxy's edge forever." 1 year after first contact, Earth had changed dramatically. Sleek towers of Galactic Council design rose alongside human buildings in major cities. Shuttle ports allowed for regular travel between Earth and the massive Council ships in orbit. Most significantly, training centers had been established worldwide for humans displaying special abilities. Han, a Council education specialist, walked through the Soul Ability Center, observing the morning exercises. 50 young humans stood in the open courtyard, eyes closed in concentration as they practiced manipulating energy fields. "Impressive progress," noted Admiral Minho, who had remained on Earth as the primary Council liaison. "How many have awakened now?" "Nearly 10,000 confirmed cases," replied Han. "The number grows daily. Not all humans welcomed these changes. Protests occurred regularly outside Council facilities. Some religious groups declared the aliens demons or false gods. Others feared that humans with abilities would form a superior class and dominate normal people. Despite these concerns, cooperation between species flourished in unexpected ways. Humans learned languages in weeks rather than years. They approached Council technology with innovative perspectives that stunned alien engineers. Their adaptability made them valuable crew members on ships traveling to environments that would kill most species. At the Geneva Joint Command Center, Yoon reviewed the latest deep space scans. The dark flux had destroyed 3 uninhabited systems in the past month, moving steadily toward populated worlds. "Their pattern is becoming clearer," she told the assembled human and alien leaders. "They're consuming all energy in each system before moving to the next." General Park, representing Earth's Unified Defense Force, studied the projections. "How long until they reach inhabited worlds?" "At current speeds, 3 months," replied Yoon. The door opened, and Jin entered with an excited expression. "We've made a breakthrough with the precursor archives." For months, teams had been studying information recovered from Proxima 7 and similar sites. Jin activated a holographic display showing ancient text. "We've deciphered the final encryption layer," he explained. "The precursors left detailed instructions for fully awakening the abilities they placed within human DNA. The process required specialized equipment and carried risks, but volunteers stepped forward immediately. The first full awakening ceremony took place a week later at a secure facility in the Himalayas. Sue, a young physicist who had shown strong telekinetic abilities, lay on a platform surrounded by both Council technology and symbols drawn from ancient human traditions. Council scientists worked alongside human doctors as the procedure began, energy fields visible as shimmering light surrounded Sue's body. She gasped, her back arching as memories not her own flooded her consciousness. Knowledge from a civilization that had reached its peak millions of years ago. When the procedure ended, Sue opened her eyes. They glowed with inner light. "I remember," she whispered. "I remember everything." Within a month, 100 humans had undergone the full awakening. They retained their human personalities but gained access to precursor knowledge and abilities that defied conventional physics. They could manipulate matter at the quantum level, travel through space without ships, and communicate instantly across vast distances. Not all survived the process. Some minds broke under the strain of ancient memories. Others lost their sense of identity, becoming neither fully human nor precursor. But those who successfully integrated both aspects became something entirely new. As the dark flux approached the first populated system, a small mining colony with 30,000 inhabitants, the Galactic Council deployed its fleet. Alongside, their ships flew smaller craft piloted by awakened humans. "This isn't how I expected first contact to go," General Park said to Minho as they watched the deployment from command. "We thought we'd be learning from you for centuries before joining Galactic Society. The universe rarely follows our expectations," replied Minho, "but I've learned that humans adapt faster than any species we've encountered." The battle began at the edge of the Torvis system. The dark flux materialized as vast clouds of energy-draining particles that corroded both matter and space itself. Council weapons seemed to slow their advance but couldn't stop it. Then the awakened humans moved forward. Working in unison, they created barriers of pure energy that the dark flux couldn't penetrate. Where the clouds tried to encircle them, humans transformed the energy, converting it into harmless light. "They're doing it," whispered Yoon, watching the battle unfold on monitors. "They're pushing it back." The victory wasn't without cost. Several human pilots didn't return, but the mining colony was saved, and for the first time in recorded history, the dark flux retreated. In the aftermath, Jin found Sue staring out at the stars from an observation deck. "Was it worth it?" he asked. "Giving up your normal life?" Sue smiled. "We haven't given up anything. We've remembered who we always were." She turned to look at him, her eyes reflecting starlight. "The circle is complete. The children of the precursors have come home.